Originally from Latin, pizza means mouthful, good to eating. In the middle of the 6th century AD by invading the Lombards. Today we're speaking nothing but good food.
You are listening to Agape FM, nearer to you.
I just want to say, welcome.
Why, thank you.
Welcome to the Midday Talk. I am Nwabisa. This is Agape FM, bringing the gospel near to you. And this is the show where we bring you entrepreneurs, we bring you movers and shakers, and most importantly, we bring you business people. And today is no different. Across from me is sitting Jenny Lee Luiters of Bokmakierie Wynbotiek Penswinkel.
Winkel.
I
say.
Okay, it's the Afrikaans in me. Okay, it's the Afrikaans.
Yeah, well, you're South African. You have a little bit of Afrikaans in you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am sitting with a lovely, beautiful lady. And please do bring in those questions. If you have a question, if you have a highlight, or if you want to just give a shout out to Jenny Lee, please do give in those shout outs. We are on WhatsApp at 069-402-1131. That is 069-402-1131. Today we are speaking pizza.
Yes.
Today we are speaking new beginnings.
Yes.
Today we're speaking food made with love. And most importantly, today we are speaking the journey and the road that Jenny has taken. I'm so proud of you. Do you have anyone that you want to give a shout out to? Anyone who might be watching live now?
Well, definitely there's a couple of people, obviously, my mom and my dad, and then a bunch of my friends. Yeah, this is a good nervous, I think. This is a good nervous.
Welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in live. We are live on Facebook at Agape FM. And if you are tuning in through our website or through the app, welcome once again. And today I am sitting, or across from me is sitting Jenny Lee Luiters of Bokmakierie Wynbotiek Penswinkel. As you all know that I always read the bio first so that you know who we're talking to and what she's all about. And today is no different. Bokmakierie was a restaurant that was open through years of experience. Through years of experience and absolute passion for the food and beverage hotel management, catering industry, Jenny Lee Luiters' love for food and people was an inspiration. July 2019, Jenny found the best spot for a restaurant with a growing potential to do functions, etc. They opened in August 2019 to the public. Within 6 months, Bokmakierie was a hit and was in the start of its business peak, business high. Who knew that COVID was lurking? When the hard lockdown was announced, who knew that would be the beginning of a fight to keep the restaurant open? Well, she surely learned a lot. After 2 years of fighting to save the restaurant through COVID time, Jenny Lee had to make the hardest decision yet. When you have started something from scratch, you put so much time, energy, and love into it. She felt that everything was crumbling around her. But what about herself? What about her staff? What were they gonna do? They were family to her. We were there for each other through the whole COVID fight. Jenny is also a mother of a 5-year-old. She needed to generate some income. I'm not gonna read the full. Right?
Okay,
because
cool.
I want us to go in depth, right? And who best to tell the story but yourself?
Yes.
Right.
True.
So, Jenny,
Yes.
before we get to Bokmakierie, before we get to the business, the story, the journey, tell us more about, just introduce yourself, who Jenny is and what Jenny is all about.
Okay, well, I am born and raised in Uitenhage. I'm 36 years old. Studied in Pretoria. Actually, I'm a qualified exercise specialist. But food has been a passion of mine since a very young age. So it comes from my dad's side as well. He loves food as well because it's a language.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
passion language. You know, I said to you earlier, there's nothing more rewarding to put a plate that was made with love in front of someone, and then they're amazed about the taste and the flavor and all of that. So I think that is I think it's quite addictive, that feeling of giving someone a little bit of your love and them loving it.
And what would it be, or where would it be if it wasn't for love?
Exactly.
And now it comes in forms of food.
Exactly.
Okay. Bokmakierie.
Yes.
Bokmakierie Wynbotiek
Yes.
and Penswinkel.
Yeah.
The name, the identity. Please do take us through it.
Okay. So the Bokmakierie is a bird. Okay. And it's a local Karoo bird. Okay.
Please do go and Google this because
So even if you put it into Google Translate, like you have tried,
exactly.
and even in English, it will still
Bokmakierie.
be Bokmakierie. Okay, so it is a local bird. It's got a very distinctive sound that it makes, but beautiful, and it's got bold, beautiful colors as well. So it's very symbolic to me. The Wynbotiek was something that I word played a bit. I had someone that said to me, "You know that you've spelled boutique incorrectly." And I was like, "Yes, I do know," but I was playing with the word a little bit.
Yes.
Because the Bokmakierie, it is what it is. It doesn't matter in what language you want to translate it in. It's still Bokmakierie. And so I thought, but my next word shouldn't be anything different. Why should I turn it into like a little bit of a French thing if it's not really,
True.
you know? So I just said boutique, like we would say it in Afrikaans. And Penswinkel,
A funny story right there.
yeah, we had a good laugh. So Penswinkel, basically, it's a slang word for a belly shop. But I had a couple of people coming into the restaurant asking me, so where can they find the tribe?
You see?
Yeah.
Because we're saying pens, so like, okay, maybe they're actually saying pens.
Yeah.
So if you're not selling
Yeah.
pens, I mean, so this creativeness,
Yeah.
did it take time for you to actually sit down and
You know
play
what?
with the bird?
Listen, I think it's a God-given gift because I love words. I love names. I love new stuff. It is the creative side in me. So the name, I don't know, it just came to me. And it seems quite long, but yet it's fun.
Sure.
You know, there's a little bit of wordplay, there's a little bit of creativity, and then also it is just what it is.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
So I like that.
I went to Google Bokmakierie. I wanted a translation, and I couldn't find the translation. I'm like, okay, let me just leave it at that, and just to find out that it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Please go and Google the bird. It's a beautiful bird. It's a local bird.
Yes.
It's with beautiful colors
Yes.
and a distinctive sound.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It is 1:09 on a Wednesday afternoon, the 23rd of March, 2022. It's hot outside, right?
Really.
It's 27 degrees Celsius outside, and this is the Midday Talk with Nwabisa, and today I am chilling with Jenny Lee of Bokmakierie, and today we're speaking everything love, we're speaking everything food and everything new beginnings. Your food for love. Your love for food. Ooh,
Yes.
Okay, I just played on words right there.
Yeah.
Your love for food and people. You've got years of experience.
Yes.
Briefly tell us how did you come to understand or know about this passion for food and for people? Because you are a qualified specialist in something else other than hospitality.
Yeah.
So how did you find yourself within this space?
I think, like I said, it was something that started from a very young age. Myself and one of my friends used to, by the age of 13, we cooked a 3-course meal.
13?
13, we cooked a 3-course meal we invited our parents to a dinner night.
All right.
You know, so by then we already, like myself and my friend, we took the task of cooking a 3-course meal. And I can still remember it was our first big catering. And I can still remember we burnt the chicken in the oven. And I asked my dad, and I was like, you can't tell anybody, but please go to Pick n Pay and go buy a cooked chicken. And please don't tell anyone. And he did that. So, but the idea was there. And then having people, I grew up in a house. We Afrikaans family, but I grew up in a house, and I would always explain our family as a big Italian family. There's laughs, there's like, it's loud and it's fun and it's in your face, you know. So the catering for a lot of people has been nothing. It wasn't ever something new to me.
Yes.
I grew up in an environment like that. So when you have grown up in, and also my dad and my mom's house, it's like a highway. Like, you know, they love people as well, especially my dad. So my mom will be like, okay, so we're having a bride tonight. And my mom's like, who did you invite? To my dad. And he'll be like, no, I didn't invite a lot of people. But then the cars just arrive. Okay, so for the love for food has stemmed from being a youngster, growing up because it's a love language.
Yes.
You know, you've got your 5 love languages. I think there's a 6th one, and that's food.
It has to be number one.
Yeah.
We all need to be fed.
Exactly.
We all need to eat. I mean, July 2019.
Yes.
You found a place. You found a perfect spot.
Yeah.
And when you found the spot, you decided, this is where I will be establishing Bokmakierie.
Bokmakierie.
What was your vision when you actually saw the place?
Shoo. It was in a warehouse, and it was perfectly located with enough parking and all of that. So the whole idea that I wanted was to have, like, it's also like a little bit of like a rustic industrial vibe to it, but I wanted plants hanging down, you know, that whole lush thing. And then winter time, because it's in a warehouse, so the warehouse is quite cold in winter time. So I wanted to do the whole fire pits, but on the inside with a huge chimney going up. You know, I wanted to create where people can feel that they're having dinner in their own home.
Yes.
I'm sure that my regular customers and all of them, I've had a lot of compliments about just like it feels like we're at our own home. I don't feel stiff. I don't feel, you know, so I wanted to create a vibe like that. And also growing the business to do more functions and weddings and playing with my creativeness as well. I loved having the restaurant and having the menu, but then every night I used to have like a special going. And then I used that as my creative flair. So I didn't lose, because you can get quite used to a menu and it can get boring. So I used that as like still satisfying the foodie side of me and giving something different.
Well.
Yes,
You know, I did say this interview was going to be fun. From when we were still off air, everything was just flowing. You know, in Port Elizabeth,
Yes.
in Gqeberha, and I think I speak most for the Eastern Cape as well, that the main industries that mainstream within the economy side are pharmaceuticals, the food and beverage, and your financial services. These are the main industries that pour into the market, into the economy.
Yeah.
But now when COVID hit,
Yeah.
everything just went flat now. And with
Sure.
you being 6 months in the business peak, in your highest in the business, how did you how did you how did you feel, and how did you go about telling your staff and
When closing the doors.
when closing the doors?
Oh, so I've through the whole journey of being in COVID. Oops, sorry, of being in COVID. I've been transparent with my staff. Like they knew exactly where we stood. I didn't keep anything from them. Obviously, listen, they've stood with me through, I can't even go into because that's a very emotional subject for me. But they've stood next to me through hard times. And the one day one of my staff members said to me, Jenny, like, you need to make a decision. You can't emotionally burn yourself out to a point that you might get sick because you've got a 5-year-old child to look after.
True.
And so obviously I just tried, and I can't even tell you how many times you in this industry, how you had to, like, with the restrictions going, how I was constantly living outside of the box, and that's quite emotionally draining, and physically as well, and mentally.
Yes.
So because then you can make food, then you can't, and then you're allowed to do takeaways, then you can't. So the whole time, so basically the business in that whole process started over like 4 times, because the whole time you need to put capital back in, and so I had to have a thought about this, and obviously it came to a point. Our last service that we did in the restaurant without our customers and people knowing was the Valentine's dinner. So we ended up on a high because we did a 12th course pairing meal with some wine, and a lot of the local people were there, and but none of them knew that it was basically the last service in the restaurant, except my staff. And I can still remember I had waiters that was already finished, because you had to cut on hours and stuff like that. And if someone finds something better, you can't stand in that person's way. And I can remember chatting to one of the waiters, and I said to her, you know what? Because they were new, so I didn't want to get into all the details. I said to her, this is where we are standing, and it's going to be Bokmakierie's last service. And she came, and she was like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I know it's a hectic serving this for dinner, having a 12-course pairing meal.
Sure.
And she came there with a rose. and oh, yeah, listen, I can tell you, the tears are already starting. But it was special because we were all very close. And after that, there was the big move, basically getting all the stuff out. And at the same time, that's when I just gave every thought, doubt, tear to God. And I was like, just like, give me clarity to what to do now. And it came to me, and I was like, well, if Bokmakierie can't be a place now, it can be a brand. And if I didn't have the platform of having the restaurant, the people wouldn't have known my quality of my product that I give. So it's like a catch-22. Yes, it was bad going through the COVID time, and all that, but it was such a big learning phase in my
Yes,
life
yes,
as well.
yes.
You know, you don't always, when you're under pressure like that, not every decision is the best decision, you know, and so you learn and you move forward and you try again, and you, like, it's not how you fall, it's how you stand up. And yeah, that's the journey to now. Now I am on the, I've like, while like moving out the restaurant and getting everything out and sorted, I took on the the big role of starting a frozen pizza range. But you know what? It's fun. It's fun. I'm enjoying it.
And to get to that, before I actually get to the frozen pizza range, I'd like to commend you on the values that you've been bringing up to your staff members, being family, being transparent with them, and also keeping in touch with them, because it's very
Yes.
important, and it also gives a perspective
Yeah.
that you are truly not only a businesswoman, but you're also a human as well.
Definitely.
You are thinking for other people as well, and that is phenomenal. Thank you so much for what you've done, and continue with what you are doing.
Thank you so much.
So now, you decided that, okay, if Bokmakierie cannot be a place, it has to be a brand.
Yeah.
Now, how was the process? Take me through the process. How was the process, the decisions? In fact, how did you actually go from all the menu products that you had at Bokmakierie to now formalizing it into, and actually specializing in pizza?
Okay, so when I still had the restaurant, I don't like to waste food. So it was very important to me to create a menu where each product is used in each item.
Okay.
Like, for instance, a lot of, say, for instance, we had chicken schnitzel.
Okay.
No, I didn't buy pre-crumbed chicken or anything like that. So I bought the chicken fillets, and then, because it's something that you can use
Yes.
in different
yes.
areas. So there wasn't a lot of wastage, because everything that I had could be used on a pizza, a pasta, a salad, and I did the jumbo pizzas. The
Okay.
people loved that. Still asking for me. Like, they're still asking
It's
for
coming.
that. Yeah.
It is coming.
Yeah.
It is
Slowly
coming.
but surely.
Slowly but surely. You are still tuned in to the Midday Talk with Nwabisa, and today I'm sitting with the lovely Jenny Lee Luiters of Bokmakierie. And if you missed what Bokmakierie is, please do go back, because it's a lovely bird, and it makes funny noise. It's not even funny; it's distinctive noise, and it's a sound that you just can't. You just
It's
can't-
different from the
Yes,
other birds.
It's different. It's really different. And we're speaking today pizza. We're speaking new beginnings, and we're speaking love. And in speaking of love, the pizza that you now make, the brand that is now Bokmakierie Rustic Frozen Pizza.
Yeah.
Right? I'm still coming into the rustic.
Yeah.
But now, how do you incorporate the love? How do you incorporate the emotion into a frozen product?
Okay, so everything is homemade. I'm not talking about meat, but I'm talking about the basting sauce, the rolling of the bases, a lot of, and we don't have a recipe.
Okay.
There's no, it's like when you prep the dough and stuff like that, it's all on feeling.
Okay.
All
right.
So and also another thing is, like, for instance, like the creamy chicken pizza. Okay, the chicken that's on the pizza is roasted in the oven. It's not put into blocks and cooked in a pot and then Bob's your uncle. It's slow roasted in the oven. The onions that is used, it's caramelized onions, so it's got like butter and balsamic vinegar, and it's got, so, and each ingredient that is put onto the pizza, it comes from love and passion.
And the time.
And the time, yes. That's why we work according to orders. Yes, basically.
And that's how you incorporate emotion into a product. That is how you actually put love. When people saying it's made with love, now I am actually hearing and experiencing what it actually means. The time put in there, everything that you just put in there. Caramelizing onions, roasting the chicken.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time, and it needs you to be in it.
Yes.
So
you need to check on it. It's not something that you. Yeah.
Yes. It's actually made with love, and so you having a product that is made with love, a product that is not just when you say with the chicken that's roasted.
Yeah.
Roasting takes time.
Yeah.
Roasting needs you to actually keep looking at how is it not burning now, what's happening. So are there any mistakes, common mistakes within the startup businesses that people are making within the hospitality space that you think that they need or you would suggest for them to just change a bit?
I won't say I'm a business connoisseur, but each person has got their way of doing things. For me, I like to have a product that is unique. Yes, I want this pizza range, and not just pizza, but the frozen food range to grow in and be a skill training and not just having machines doing everything for you, because Eskom is a problem.
We are dealing with Eskom.
So having a production line, but without machines, and you have a production line with people that's people that can take a salary home, but learning a skill at the same time. And I think that's my vision. My vision is to teach skill as well, while having a product that is healthy. You know exactly what's in there. Someone asked me, Jenny, can you do, we want some high protein bases because we're not allowed any gluten or blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I did it,
Jenny.
And it was a first for me with not using the almond flour and all that type of stuff. But so it took a little bit of a moment or two to figure out the best way of preparing this base that doesn't have any gluten in it. But I got it right, and I delivered.
You see?
And but it's also, you see, at the same time, it's making something that someone would love. Yes. And the feedback that I got was so rewarding, and the one lady bought a frozen pizza at one of the outlets that I'm very thankful for. They've been supporting amazingly. There is 2 outlets, and then I'm going to go see some more. The one is OK Mini Mart in Kyla Street, Uitenhage. And they've been amazing with the whole support and so on, because my aim is some of my staff got work afterwards, after closing the restaurant, and some maybe still struggling to find and all that type of stuff. So my goal is to get to a point where I can say, okay, guys, there's something solid again. Let's come back. Let's do this. I check up on them. One of them phoned me and said, okay, Jen, is the business up and running yet? And I was like, slow growth. Just give me a moment.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Yeah.
So, with Bokmakierie Rustic Pizza.
Yeah.
Please tell us more about that. What is the product, and what are the different ranges that you actually have?
So yeah, I've started with the pizza and lasagna.
Okay.
Okay. Because pizza is a people pleaser.
Yes.
There's not a lot of people that don't eat pizza, you know? And then, not to brag or anything, but I had someone that came to the restaurant with her husband, and he's like, "No, I don't eat pizza," and but he tried, and then
He ate your pizza.
he ate my pizza.
So there's pizza, and then there's Bokmakierie Pizza.
Exactly.
So there's different. If you don't eat pizza, try Bokmakierie. Please do try Bokmakierie Pizza. So what are the different ranges?
Okay, so I've got some meaty. I've got like a nice Mexicana, and also on the Mexicana, I make my own chili. I call it liquid gold. So I make my own chili sauce that goes onto the pizza. So obviously you've got your spicy beef mince and the jalapenos and blah blah blah. That's all on there, and then we've got the Bokmakierie, which is just like flared with flavor. It's got caramelized onions, feta, roasted chicken, crispy bacon pieces, peppers, yada yada yada, and so I can call it.
Mouth-watering.
Yeah. And then the creamy chicken, obviously, and like even the creamy sauce that goes on there is also made.
Homemade.
Yeah, so it's not something that comes out of a packet. You know, that's where the skill training comes into, like teaching someone to make a white sauce, like from scratch. Not just buying a packet of Knorr.
And just
Not
putting
dissing
it in
Knorr. Just
there. And
saying.
just putting it in there. So with the skills development,
Yeah.
I believe that it's something that's really close to your heart.
Oh, very.
So how are you planning on incorporating these skill development classes while people are still getting an income?
Yeah, I think that's maybe it's because I love teaching. I'm a very strict teacher though.
Okay.
Because there's one way of doing things and it's the right way. So I think the main goal is basically to help people to develop a skill and fall in love with something and it can become a passion, someone that is searching maybe, that needs, because unfortunately food is not an industry that you can't just wake up and be like, oh, I'm going to open a restaurant today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's like it's having a restaurant is like farming. It's like 24/7 because there's marketing, there's this, and then it's thinking on your feet the whole time because you still work with people and they've got also stuff happening in their life. So if someone it's like someone not pitching up to come and work in the garden, for instance, or on the farm. You need to fill holes, because there's a lot of areas in the restaurant and hotel and all of there's areas that needs to be filled and that needs to run smoothly to have a quality product.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Jenny, I mean, I so wish we really had time, but we keep running out of time. And when they say that when you're having a good time,
Yeah.
time flies.
Yes.
And I am having a good time. It is 33 minutes past 1 on a Wednesday afternoon. It is the 23rd of March 2022, and now it is now 25 degrees Celsius outside. I am speaking with Jenny Lee of Bokmakierie, and we were speaking love, we were speaking business, we are speaking new beginnings.
Yes.
Speaking of new beginnings, speaking of you being passionate about food and people, what are your values? What are the values that drive you?
Listen, I am blessed with the amazing support structure, with a mom and dad and brother and sister-in-law that's stood with me through heavy, and friends and my friends as well, that stood with me through a lot. And I've always been reminded it's not how you fall, it's how you stand up.
Sure.
And then there's nothing exists. The word failure does not exist. And at one stage I felt like that, but then I realized, but you can't fail at something if you haven't tried. So if you tried something, is it really, if and it doesn't work out, is it really failure because you've tried something?
Yes,
So the word doesn't actually
it
exist,
doesn't
or
exist.
in my life. So yes, it's gonna take time for it to get into a nice rhythm. But you know what? I give it to a higher power, and unfortunately, you can't control something that's out of your control. You can only give your best. So sitting in the corner and crying about stuff is not what I'm made of. And thanks to my parents that has raised me with a solid foundation when it comes to that. No one is perfect, but it's how you correct it in your life, and a lesson will always be thrown to you up until you learn. So life works like that. If you haven't learned the lesson, life will keep on throwing the same lesson into your face until you learn. Yeah. So I think that's my values. It's every person can fall, but it's how you stand up. That's the difference.
That is powerful. Every person can fall, but it's how you stand up. What are we looking forward to now? What are you cooking up? What are the plans? What are the presents?
Okay, so basically the plans would be to take the product and basically packaging. Remember, having a product like that, it's not to say that you've got a huge profit that you getting out of something that you've started just now, you know.
Yes.
Obviously having your own vacuum sealer and label printer and all of that costs money. So if it's a slow growth, but when you get to the point where you have passed all of that and you can do your whole product by yourself, I think that's when the game changes a little bit.
Yes.
But for now, we're sticking to the roots and to the basics so that we can give a good product, a quality product, and then we'll see how it grows.
Where do we get these quality products? How can we find you? Are you on social media? Is there a
I
number?
am. I still have the Bokmakierie Wynbotiek Penswinkel. I still have the Facebook page running. I haven't closed it.
Yes.
You know, because it's a new division that's happening now. A lot of people ask me, am I going to open a new place? Would love to, but unfortunately with the economy that's still in recovery, I it's not that you're scared, but you need to wait for stuff to balance out a little bit more, because you still have people working short time and all of that. Okay. And also, you know, my type of business is not necessarily just a bar. It's more of a family, like dinner type of vibe. So I don't have I don't do like slot machines and all of that covers a little bit here and there and so on, you know. So that's not where I concentrate. It's all about, pleasing people.
Pleasing people, and so is the pizza. It's pleasing people. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much. Which are the outlets that are selling your Bokmakierie?
Okay, well, it's the OK Mini Mark in Uitenhage, next in Kyla Street, next to Kyla Hospital. Then there's Samfa Butchery in Dispatch. There is a couple of other outlets that I have to go and see, that I've spoken to. But I would like, you know, you set yourself up. When I started, I was like, if I can do 50 pizzas a week, I'll be happy. And now we've reached that point. We've come to that point, and now I'm stretching the goalpost a little bit further. And the only way of reaching that is by getting into other outlets. Basically marketing, repping, like doing your own product and repping your own product.
True. That is so true. Please leave us a number that people can contact and get in contact with you.
Okay, it's 079-503-1232.
Please repeat that.
079-503-1232.
And that is Jenny Lee Luiters of Bokmakierie. Oh, okay. Bokmakierie Wynbotiek Penswinkel, now known as Bokmakierie Rustic Frozen Pizza. And you can find the details. Albeit ordinary saying awesome interview. Where I always ask my guests to leave a word of encouragement. I always ask my guests to leave something behind for someone who's looking up to you, because you might not know, but someone is looking up to you. There's a story. I am motivated and inspired by your story, and I know for a fact that someone out there is also inspired by your story.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. Please do go and visit Bokmakierie on Facebook. The number is also left on the comment section. And then if you miss any of that, we are on 069-402-1131. You can WhatsApp us and we'll be sure gladly to transfer you or to refer you to Jenny Lee. Jenny, it was wonderful having you.
It was wonderful being here, actually. I was nervous, but I must say, I think the conversation flew, it was flowing since I got here.
When you know your business, when you are your business, that's how things should be.
Yeah.
The conversation just flows.
Yes.
A word of encouragement, please, to anyone who's listening out there.
There's a lot that I can say. Maybe I should write a book. Not joking. Basically, there's none such thing as failure.
Yes.
The word cannot exist because you need to try something to be able to fail, and you can't fail if you haven't tried. So the word does not exist.
Oh, we need to quote that. We need to quote that. That is wonderful. That is deep. Thank you so much once again. The time is 41 minutes past 1. On a Wednesday afternoon, the Wednesday of the 23rd of March 2022. I am Nwabisa. This is Agape FM, the show, the Midday Talk, and today I am still sitting with Jenny Lee Luiters of Bokmakierie Rustic Frozen Pizza, and we were speaking love, we were speaking new beginnings, and we were speaking everything that is passion.
Yes.
Right? So thank you so much. I'm going to leave you today. Please do don't touch that dial, because we do have the Agape's Top 10 with Shantae today at 3 o'clock, and straight after that Pastor Bubusi is giving something else, and straight after that we've got other good and great shows to come forth. I'm Nwabisa, and this is Jenny Lee, and we're leaving you today with the love of Jesus by Elevation Worship. Thank you so much.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming through, and be blessed. Goodbye.
Bye.